All right, the first hand was you right there with the glasses. Yeah. That is not correct. We're gonna, all right, hold on. Gentleman with the glasses here.
Say Han Solo's blaster?
Also incorrect. We're gonna do one more photo. We'll do hands down, we'll do a fresh photo here. Ready? All right, fellow with the camera was up first, and then the fellow next to you.
Stormtrooper blaster?
Not a stormtrooper blaster?
Scout trooper blaster?
Not a scout trooper blaster. Kid in the front. Not an Endor Rebel? Not a Jello. We'll go one more photo. Hands down, everybody ready? All right, you in the middle there. Yep, that's you, sir, pointing. Say again? Not a Chewbacca bowcaster, but the gentleman right here.
Yeah.
That is correct. We'll just do a t-shirt. Yeah, you want to do that? There you go. So there you go. That is an original storyboard from The Empire Strikes Back. Very well done. Very well done. There you go. There's the answer. Sorry. Thank you, Tony. I am very impressed with this young man right here. That is, I'm going to have him screen match my next prop. Hey, speaking of my next prop, all right, so I'm going to run through this quickly because I'm sure we're running low on time. What we'll do here is I've got my collection kind of in twofold, my collection of slides here. The first batch will just be a few examples of the work we've been doing that relates to Star Wars material. We do a lot of stuff, a wide range of films, but I would guess you guys probably like the Star Wars stuff better. And then from there I'll transition into my collection and probably show a few things that I haven't showed to anyone ever before. So this is an Ewok. This is an Ewok mask that Gus actually brought to us that had some issues. It came in this way. Gus didn't do it.
I don't need Ewoks that much.
Right. So he had some damage to his nose, his eyelids, the ears were a little crispy on the inside, and we actually found some really neat ways to bring this back to life for him and repair those ears actually without ever doing anything to the outsides of them. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, all right, so that's him finished on the left, that's him in the works on the right. This is a piece you can find down at the prop store booth downstairs. Just look up, it's way up high, you might miss it. This is one of the original Jabba the Hutt skins. It was not used for the movie. And the reason it wasn't was the foam batch came a little firm. And what's interesting is that unusual mix to the foam has preserved it perfectly over all these years. Those are also original eye forms in there. And what we did was created the inside of Jabba to support this, and it took 500 pounds of clay and a lot of time sculpting and putting it on and off and on and off and laying plastic so nothing got damaged. And the final result is, I like to think, kind of beautiful. Great work. Thank you. This we call the Zombie Tauntaun. This showed up in our studio. It was in a public auction last year, and a longtime client of ours purchased it, and with the intent of sending it to us. A lot of times people will actually have us consult prior to an auction. They'll bring us on to discuss a piece and talk about, what can be done with it, display or restoration-wise. And this was a case where he went into the auction knowing what he would need to spend to bring it back to life later, and it really helped him to make an informed decision. And so, one of the neat things that happens when we do restoration work is things look ghastly at first. And this thing, the jaw was off and everything. But as soon as you start getting the jaw in place, and as soon as you get his eye turned back around, and get the little flaps of skin folded into place, it starts to come together pretty quickly. And we go in and we carefully fill in the gaps. We match all of the textures, and then only paint the areas we touch. We don't repaint the whole piece. We keep things as original as possible. So anything we're doing has to match not just the color, but the age and the feel and the vibe, and the way the original painter did it. And so there's the finished skin restoration. And we did have one final step. Prop Store had an amazing plaster cast that was a piece of production history that they had turned into a fiberglass bust. And what we did was we took that and turned it into a Tauntaun hoodie. Or a very nice display mount for it. And it gives it, what we did here was we colored the back piece not realistically. We made it just a very neutral color, something that visually completes it, makes it, you know, it's huge too. If anybody's ever seen a full-size Tauntaun head, it's enormous. It's about 4 feet tall. It gives us this great visual completion, and it gives you some context to the piece. So, thank you. So this was probably one of the coolest things I have ever gotten to do in my life. My company was hired by an ad agency to work on the Volkswagen Super Bowl commercial this year. And this is where we're going to transition sort of from work to collection, but this is where both prop making and prop collecting sort of collide. They came to us, they said, Lucasfilm doesn't have the original Cantina creatures anymore. And I said, I know. I have a few of them. And they said, we've asked around, no one thinks they can make these things on time. Can you guys make some Cantina creatures for our Super Bowl commercial? And I said, free. No. They held me back. Luckily, Mike was in the studio with me and did not let me say that. But yeah, no, of course, we said, yeah, absolutely. So we very quickly made 10 creatures for them, including Dr. Evazan and Walrus Man there and Snaggletooth. The masks on the left of this image are how they look now in my collection. After the shoot, part of our contract was we got to hold on to what we made, which was a lot of fun. And there's Mufftack and Hammerhead, which we built for the shoot. That's them on set on the right, and that's them in my office at the studio on the left. Here is a little look at my collection. My Star Wars material is all focused on the Cantina at this point. I used to have a broader collection, but just gradually have been focusing on the area where I was most passionate about. I know Gus talks a little about focus collectors and on some of the other panels with figures and stuff. I guess I've become an example.
Yeah. I mean, and even in prop collecting, it's one of those things like you can never own it all. It's impossible to. So you'll see different collectors will focus like either on blasters or on masks or on helmets or things like that and specialize and then try to build the best of, and that's that focus.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it gives you some sense like you're achieving something and that you're making steps towards something. So this Walrus Man's original blaster turned up at the rental house. I have a behind-the-scenes photo of this blaster where you can read the serial number, and it matches the blaster I have, which is just very nice. And Prop Store turned that up for me. Thank you very much. It's my job. This is a kind of cool piece. This is Snaggletooth's original costume. I have since been able to screen match it to the Snaggletooth walking around the streets by the docking bay. And the head on that is one that I made for the display. The Hunchback Mannequin was also made by me. You can't go to the store and buy that. But if anybody ever needs one, you know who to call. The shirt on that actually was discovered on eBay by myself, and the pants turned up in an auction. Years later, it was discovered in the wardrobe company that had made them for the film. Just who needs Snaggletooth's trousers? You do. This is the original fly alien from the Cantina. You barely see him in the film, but he is awesome. Also awesome, the Plutonian, aka Everett Reeds. This is a great example of one of those screen matches. It's not necessarily in this photo, but found some really rare behind-the-scenes photos for another panel we're doing. By the way, anyone interested in rare photos of the Cantina, we're doing a panel 4:30 in the behind-the-scenes stage that will have probably 100 plus images no one's ever really seen, so it's going to be a good time. And then this is another Cantina alien. You don't get to see him very well on screen, but there's lots of behind-the-scenes photos, and it's another just wicked design. And there's one of the band members and a pair of hands, and the Prop Store guys have one of these as well, and that's at their booth downstairs if you want to go look at it. We did the little display mount and some restoration on the hands on that one for you. So we're going to jet past this Q&A because we're